Big news in the cannabis space today. President Biden pardoning thousands of people convicted of marijuana possession and ordering a review of federal pot laws. The pardon's applying to federal offenders and anyone convicted in D.C., but the president has also called on governors across the country to do the same. The news sending pot stocks skyrocketing. Are we jumping to conclusions, Tim?
Well, let's understand the dynamics here. We're talking about criminal justice. This is different than federalization. This is different than stuff that's going to get them listed on exchanges and the things that the capital markets really want. Investors want that. But it's very important that this is incremental. And what's very important about this announcement is, first of all, this wasn't made in a vacuum. This to me is an announcement in close conjunction with something that will follow in the Senate, which we've been talking about in the cannabis space forever. SAFE Act, safe banking, to the extent that in a lame duck session, there's been plenty of conversations that there could be something that happens. I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen. I'm going to tell you that there's no question to me this wasn't just a statement made in a vacuum. The other most important thing about what he said is he alluded to the schedule and the Schedule 1 status of cannabis and that it's the same as heroin and LSD. That dynamic, you remove that dynamic and you make the profitability of this sector night and day different. So free cash flow, things that have been, look, the big headwinds for the sector have been about gross margin and the illicit markets and things that are a function of the federal market. But this gets right to, if you get rid of 280E, which is essentially the tax code that the IRS would apply to any Schedule 1 or illegal activity, and you remove that, it changes free cash flow dynamics for the sector. So it's a very, very exciting day. It was a long time in coming. This wasn't whimsical, and criminal justice is critical to get actually other people in the Senate then to be on board.
No, you've been waiting for this. People have been tweeting about it over the last couple of weeks. I mean, this is Tim can speak to this, but this is one of those seminal moments in the space that years to come we'll talk about this day when it all changed. Now, MSOS, I think, is one of the ETFs. You obviously have one as well, Tim, but I'm not saying you go out and chase these things because I'm sure there's going to be some ebbs and flows, but I think the space for the first time in a while, you're not going to see that downward air gap volatility like you've seen over the last couple of years. I think now it's investable for a period of time.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. It's kind of a brilliant political move. This was a campaign promise by Biden a couple years ago, and the timing of it, I mean, let's just
before the midterms?
Yeah, people like this stuff.
All right.
Stay in school, kids. Don't use it.